I'm pretty outraged.
That's ridiculous.
I have the right to say if somebody can take or not take a picture of me.
You would think, right? The uproar was far and wide after a Massachusetts judge ruled it was not illegal for someone to record up your skirt without knowing, called upskirting. As we mentioned earlier, Governor Deval Patrick has now signed a bill making that a misdemeanor. That story makes it on our top 7 most talked about stories of the week. Lynn Berry has the rest, starting with a very real criminal problem for a Real Housewives star.
Number 7, an Oscar moment John Travolta did not want.
Please welcome the wickedly talented one and only Velez-Mitchell.
What did John Travolta just call her?
How are you getting Adele Dazeem out of Idina Menzel?
BuzzFeed imagined, what if John Travolta had to pronounce everyone's name at the Oscars, from Maddo Mahogany to Brat Spit?
John said, I've been beating myself up all day. Then I thought, what would Idina Menzel say? She'd say, let it go, let it go.
Number 6, the upskirt uproar.
In Massachusetts, it's okay to be a peeping Tom now.
The state's highest court says it's legal, secretly photographing under a woman's skirt, called upskirting.
Okay, I watched him looking up my wife's skirt.
He had his foot underneath my skirt and he was clicking pictures and using his cell phone to watch what he was doing.
Unless the person being photographed was nude or partially nude, it's not a crime.
So if you're wearing underwear, it's okay? That's disgusting.
Horrifying, right? And just one day after the judge's decision, a Massachusetts legislature responded, passing a law to ban upskirting. Number 5.
Real Housewives of New Jersey stars Teresa and Joe Giudice could be going to prison. On Tuesday, the two pleaded guilty to federal fraud charges,
Including conspiracy to commit mail, wire, and bank fraud. Sentencing is set for July 8th. How does this play out in the storyline of the show? Do producers capitalize on this?
They're going to want to try to as much as they can. The problem is that reality TV producers want you to go as far and say as much as you can in order to make good TV. But I'm sure that their attorneys will have been saying, stop it, don't talk about it, don't do this, don't do that.
Number 4, it's being called South Africa's trial of the century.
Oscar Pistorius is being charged with premeditated murder that on Valentine's night a year ago he shot and killed his girlfriend, Reva Steenkamp.
A much different type of attention for the man who won hearts as the brave Olympic Blade Runner.
How do you plead?
Not guilty, my lady. He said, I shot her. I thought she was a burglar.
Detectives are studying a blood-stained cricket bat found at Pistorius' home.
This was either used to attack her further or that she used it to defend herself.
The screams did not sound like fighting, but more like panic and distress calls of someone being attacked.
The trial continues next week. Number 3, an honor student turned sour.
A New Jersey teen who's suing her own parents. She is demanding they pay her high school tuition and provide child support, even though they claim she moved out because she didn't want to follow their rules.
Canning's parents say the 18-year-old wouldn't listen, went out drinking all night with her boyfriend, at one point leaving her mother a profanity-laced voicemail.
Have you ever, in your experience, seen a young adult child show such gross disrespect for a parent?
She's not getting any money for now, but this case isn't over yet. The judge scheduled another hearing for April to decide whether she left home on her own.
Number 2, shots fired in Crimea as the Ukrainian crisis escalates. Russians fired warning shots above the heads of Ukrainian troops. International communities are still working on a diplomatic end to the standoff, but it doesn't look good.
President Obama vowed to punish Vladimir Putin, accusing the Russian leader of violating international law in Ukraine.
If I take the decision to use military force, it will be completely legitimate.
We begin this morning with breaking news. Washington slaps the first sanctions against those to blame for the crisis in Ukraine, and the Obama administration says that there could be more punishment to come.
Number 1, a van full of children driven straight into the ocean.
She had this look on her face. I can't describe it. It's just an awful blank look, like spaced out look. And a kid on her lap fighting her for the steering wheel. And the two in the back seat was crying
with their arms out saying, "Our mommy's trying to kill us, please help."
Shocked bystanders jump in the ocean to rescue the family, risking their own lives.
Wasn't thinking about nothing but saving those kids.
The kids, ages 10, 9, and 3, were all rescued, but barely.
The van actually started floating. She had went out so far it started floating. It was just, it was up to my chest, and I'm 6'6".
One of the rescuers says the pregnant mom didn't help at all.
Her response was, "I'm okay, we're okay, we're okay."
Police say 2 hours before this, they spoke to the mom, but
she did not have display enough of any type of an issue that she could be taken into custody. She had the right answers, and so at that time, they could not do anything with her. But then 2 hours later, it had escalated to this.
Authorities have actually filed charges.
This woman who drove the minivan into the ocean is facing 3 counts of first-degree attempted murder, also 3 counts of child abuse.
Lynn Berry, HLN Now.